he respected what I did. I wasn't exactly like him. I didn't approach things the same way, but he saw that I did some good things and got things done. So he respected me, and I totally respected him. He was somebody who wanted to advance himself, and he used people to do it, and not in a good way.
He was a great boss because he appreciated his staff. He was a principal, and he had the ability to try and please the students, the staff, and the parents, even when all three were at odds. But he always made sure to tell his staff how much they were appreciated. And so when it was a bad day or he was asking a little extra, you knew it mattered to him.
Okay.
And you knew you mattered. Felt as if you're doing them, they're doing you a favor by you being there, so unappreciated. And they weren't a good leader. They didn't seem to know the job themselves, and in order to do the job, you need to follow someone who can lead.
He's the best boss because he's very understanding. He likes to listen to his employees, and he also knows how to intermix having a good time, so he's really good with giving constructive criticism with still making it lighthearted and fun. She wasn't very fair. So she had her favorite employees, and it was very distinct as to who her favorite was and who her not favorite were. And so she always gave special treatment to those who she, preferred.
I'd say she's the best boss just because she's an older woman who's just super charismatic, super passionate about the mission, and because of how passionate she is about her work, it makes you feel really passionate about what you're doing. And it doesn't mean that she doesn't contribute. She has some bad characteristics, of course. I think every boss has that, and she can be tough to work for at times. But overall, her dedication and her hard work makes you also want to be really dedicated and work hard as well. He was very biased, very selective of his people that he liked, and was often putting things on us that are just unruly and felt unfair, and asking things that are just ridiculous of us.
I considered him the best boss because he was tough in the beginning when I was learning, but he also understood about delegation of authority. He would back me up when I needed help with the people under me. So I think it's important that you have a boss that backs you up, that doesn't just say you're in charge and then doesn't actually leave you in charge, or tries to micromanage. I think that delegation of authority is probably one of the key things that any owner should trust in. If you've delegated that authority, you should stick with it. I don't like people that yell before they find out. There you go. For me, that's the epitome of the most horrible bosses are the ones that yell before they find out what's going on.
You could talk to them as a normal person, and then they never felt like there was this big hierarchy between bosses and employees. And I felt that was really important because it made us actually feel like we're working more as a family and not I'm working for this person. I think having that kind of inconsistency and also the air of non-honoring in that request definitely made him the worst person to work with. Absolutely.
Okay.
He's supportive, he's communicative, he's generous, he's energetic and outgoing as well. An example I could think of that shows that is that, well, I could think of many, but in my dealings with him and communications with him, he explains himself well. He doesn't act like you just do it because I told you to. He makes a point to explain why what we're doing is going to work and why his attention is there. And I definitely appreciate that. I remember when I was hired, he would say, if you want to eat something, go ahead. But then on the day he's supposed to pay, he would be like, well, you ate this, this, and this. And, just things like that made you feel very underappreciated. And the communication was obviously, dishonest, to say the least.
He is constantly here. As long as he's owned this business, he's still really in touch with how it works on a day-to-day basis, and is always complimenting people when he needs to, and really giving constructive criticism. I think I've seen him probably cook in the kitchen 100 times since I've worked here, and he'll do dishes, he'll do anything to make sure the restaurant's running smooth. He's not above any of that. I really appreciate that. And that makes me want to work really hard for him, because he doesn't have to do that. He could easily just palm it off on somebody else. He would sort of bring people in past close, hang out and party all night because it was his restaurant, and then, you know, leave a big mess for all of us the next day without apology, and just was never there for anybody. It drove a lot of people to quit, including myself.